Morning, everybody. Good morning, Melissa, Pam, Brenda, Trish, Eric from Puerto Rico, Keith, MP, Bill. All right. Well, I appreciate everybody jumping on. Morning, Melanie. Again, while everybody's checking in, real quick instructions again for anybody who might be new to Periscope. I'm sure we've got a couple of new people every day. If you'd like to share this with friends or a team, if you just swipe up or swipe right, depending on your phone, then you can just follow the instructions from there, and that'll help you do that. And if you like what you hear, then if you just tap the bottom right of the screen, that'll send some hearts up. So I always appreciate those. But hey, let's jump in today. I'm kind of excited about today. Yesterday, one of the things that we talked about was thinking outside the box. And today is really kind of a continuation of that in a little different way. And the title might be a little interesting. You might be wondering, what the heck is Ty talking about? So the question is, what do we do when somebody says, man, I love this, I'd love to do it, I just don't have the money? And for me, my reaction to that is really pretty simple, and this isn't what today's talk is about, but for me, my reaction honestly is, hey, look, if that's the case, that's why you need to do this, because you don't want to ever have to say that again. So let's talk about how we can make this happen, and let's go do it. Let's go change it, because one thing I know is if you don't change what you're doing, then your situation is not going to change. You've got to change your thinking. You've got to open your mind to what you can do with this and where you can go with it. So that's one thing. And another thing is, I'll ask folks, say, look, let me ask you a question. If you had a repair to your car tomorrow that had to be done, or your car wasn't going to work and you couldn't get to work, what would you do to make it happen? What would you do to get your car repaired? And let's say it was $1,000 repair. Would you and could you find a way to get that done? And of course, the answer is yes. People can find a way. They're going to do whatever they have to do. Again, that is a little different than the direction we're going today, but that's those kind of responses to that. It's nothing more than a smokescreen, in my opinion. When somebody says, "Well, man, I'd love to do it, but I can't afford it," so it's just an objection. And what we need to do is isolate that and find out how real is that objection. So, with that being said, what I want to do today is talk about, let's say we've got somebody that's really in that situation. That is their situation. They just flat out don't have the money. I mean, if their car broke down tomorrow, they're hitchhiking. Okay, so I mean, that's how difficult their situation is. And the reason I'm doing this is there was, I don't know, a few years ago, I heard a training from Jim Rohn, and it got me thinking about us and our process and some things we got available to us, and really how it relates. And part of the reason, the rest of the reason I'm going over this is I've actually got one of those situations with someone that I'm talking with, and he shared some things with me, and he's really kind of opened up and opened his heart. And I've known him for probably 15 years, and we got out of touch, and now we're back in touch, and he's in a real difficult place. So bottom line is that Jim Rohn said, look, we can either buy and sell, or we can sell and buy. So what the heck does that mean? Well, if we've got somebody that really just flat out doesn't have the money like we're talking about, then how do we help them get in a position? One of the options, of course, and I do not recommend this, and which is why I want to share it with you, is, well, I just loan them the money and we'll get them in the business and we'll figure it out or get it paid back or whatever. I don't recommend that. They've got no skin in the game, and the likelihood of you getting that money back is very, very small, in my opinion. I've seen people do it, and I've seen people regret it as a result. So again, I don't recommend that, but the fact that we're with a product company really makes this a possibility. This is not a new business plan. It's not the new norm. So please understand, again, we're thinking outside the box here. This is the exception, not the rule, in my opinion. So, and the bottom line is this: I will take somebody and work with somebody who has no money but a dream and ambition over someone who has the money but has no dream and no ambition any day of the week. So how do we do that? Well, and before I get into the nuts and bolts of this real quick, please don't confuse this with not going after our chicken list. And we talked about that yesterday. We need to go after our chicken list. We need to start there. We need to be bold. We need to go after those folks because, again, the successful, connected, influential people, those are the people that are going to explode our business. So whether you've done that or not, whether today's day one or day 1001 for you in the business, and whether you're with our company or another company, again, it doesn't matter. But that's where we need to start. So if you haven't done that yet, do that. Get with your chicken list because other people are going to get with the people on your chicken list. I guarantee you they're on somebody else's list. So, and again, we've done a separate training on that. But so again, but this is part of, where do we go when we're getting with everyone on our list? Because we're going to start with our chicken list, but we're going to work through our list and work through our list. And again, this is somebody that I'm using as an example that came back into contact with me and reached out to me, actually. A friend requested me on Facebook. And again, finding out more about his situation. He's been through some real tough times. So I'm thinking, okay, how do we help this guy get started? Because I'm just philosophically opposed to loaning somebody the money to come in, again, for the reason I already said. So now, if you're with our company, of course, then we've got our new 3-button system that was just recently introduced over the last couple of weeks. Brilliant. I love that system. I love the process. So how do we use something like that to help us help somebody like this? And hang with me on this, because if you introduce this and ask this person, again, this is going to determine, you're going to get the answer to the question, does somebody have enough ambition? And is their why big enough? Is their dream big enough to be able to help them change and improve their situation? And I believe this is an opportunity to do that in certain cases. And you got to kind of make that decision for yourself. But if somebody puts that post on their Facebook, they're not in the business, but they put the post on their Facebook and they're starting to get responses. Okay, so this is somebody, again, they may not be in the place they want to be, they may not be in the best place, but they know people. They've got people that are Facebook friends, that kind of thing, or whatever type of social media they're involved in, and they start getting responses. They're getting responses. Well, they open up their group, their closed group on Facebook. Now, here's the part where I'm willing to take a chance, and you don't have to be willing to do this, and you don't have to be willing to follow this process, but I'm willing to invest in somebody that's willing to take a chance in that way for a couple reasons. So I will provide samples. I'm not going to loan them money to become part of the business, but I'll provide samples to their prospects. So why am I willing to do that? Again, this person's willing to take action. If they've got ambition, they've got a dream, they've got a big why, then I'll provide samples and get them out to their prospects, to the people that they have in their group. Here's why. I'm going to be a part of that group. I'm going to be able to have access to and communicate with those folks and be engaged in and lead the process to an extent, and guide them through the process, coach my new prospect through the process. And as a result, again, I'll have contact with these folks. So being engaged in the process, you see, oh, hey, listen, so-and-so made a great comment. They're having an awesome success with the product they tried, with what they're sampling, et cetera. They're excited. You've got a potential customer here. So let's, big picture, we get to the point where they've got 20 people in their group that you've sampled to, and you've helped them in that way. Now, if you've done that and you're starting to see responses, well, obviously your prospect is seeing these responses. So what's going to start to happen? Fear of loss, right? So now we get back to the mentality of, I've got a car repair, I have to get this done or my car doesn't work, right? Well, I've got customers, I've got income that's sitting there waiting for me. If I don't make this work and find a way to be a part of this process, I'm going to miss out. All right, so fear of loss starts to come in. So that's where you can coach your prospect through the process, because now they've got people who want to be a part of the business, or at least learn more about the opportunity. Hey, I've got the opportunity to potentially enroll business partners. I've got customers lined up waiting for me that want what we have. They're going to find a way to make this happen, right? So that's where the sell then buy part of this equation comes in, because in sharing the product, and again, yes, I've helped in that way. Always happy to help somebody that has ambition, and giving them, setting the stage for them to have immediate success. And we can't call it an investment, but obviously it's money out of pocket. They're buying now. They can put that money out because they know they have money coming back in literally immediately within a week. So they have one customer besides them on scheduled delivery, there's $100. And then let's say they have 3 customers total that are going to be on scheduled delivery. Well, not only do they get the immediate income, but they've got the immediate 100. And then because of, again, remember, there's unlimited fast start bonuses. So every other 2 is another 100. So if they have 3 customers, they've already got 200 coming back, plus they've got the immediate income. You get the point, right? Without digging too deep into the details of that, this is an opportunity for us to use that 3-button system to help somebody find a way into the business that may not have it otherwise. So I hope you all are following me, and I hope this is making sense. But again, this I think is really something. This is a decision we have to make based on the relationship we have with the individual that's trying to come into the business. We don't want to make this the business model. Like I said, I think this is the exception rather than the rule. But my thought on this is let's change our thinking, change our thought process, open our minds to possibilities as to how we can help bless other people and help them become a part of the team. Because again, if they've got the ambition, if they've got the big why, the big dream, and they want to have this, and we present this as an opportunity for them to have it, we create the opportunity, we create the fear of loss, we expose ourselves to other people, and this gives us the opportunity to begin to develop a relationship with the people they know. And again, the big picture here is, let's say the worst case is they just say, man, I just can't do it. Well, you've now exposed yourself to 20 other people that you can reach out to. And worst case is you reach out to these customers that made these good comments and say, hey, listen, I just want to introduce myself. Obviously, we've spent some time together over the last 30 days in this group. And I'm actually the person who introduced so-and-so to it. And I've been partnering with them, trying to help them. It doesn't seem like the right time. Are you open to talking? So now you've basically taken a prospect who, if in the end can't do it, who led you to a series of other potential prospects that can be for you. So again, that's your worst case. Like I said, thinking outside the box here. So the philosophy of this for me is real simple. My career has been spent in sales. And prior to, of course, being in network marketing. And I've always been the kind of person that will take the opportunity over the guarantee any day of the week. And I learned that lesson real hard. Our lessons make us who we are today, our lessons in life. And we just put all those together. And that makes us obviously who we are. And yes, of course, it's the people we spend time around. And again, we've talked about that too. But I remember one time in sales early on, there was just an issue with my compensation, my pay plan, and bottom line is it wasn't right. And they said, well, listen, we'll give you a guarantee. And on the surface, I thought, okay, well, all right, that'll take care of me. It'll get me through this rough patch or whatever in terms of until they can work out their issues that pertain to me and make it right with me. Well, that dragged on for like 2 months and then 3 months. And I'm like, okay, enough's enough. I'm done, because a guarantee is nothing more than a limit. Okay? It's putting a lid on what you can do, what you can accomplish, what you can make. And I learned that lesson, and I'm so glad I learned that early on, because that made me, from that point on, my philosophy was, forget the guarantee, I'll take the opportunity. You keep your guarantee, because I know it's limiting me. So forget that, give me the opportunity, I'm going in that direction. You can keep your guarantee, okay? So again, thinking outside the box in this way, I hope is kind of helpful to you. I'll close with 2 quotes here. One is I know Holly's going to love this, is by actor Kyle Chandler. And I know it's one of Holly's favorite actors. I knew I recognized the name when I found the quote, and I looked it up and went, oh my gosh, it's Kyle Chandler. So I know Holly's going to be happy with this. But opportunity doesn't knock. It presents itself when you beat down the door. Okay, so again, it's finding new ways, new avenues to the end result. How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? And again, thinking outside the box to make that happen. And the other quote is from an unknown source, which is, don't wait for opportunity, create it. So we can either wait for these people to be ready, okay? And again, if this is a real scenario where they just flat out, they just financially can't do it. They don't have anybody to turn to, anything to turn to. There's just no way for them to put this together. Well, let's find a way. If they truly want it, like I said, if they've got the dream, the why, and the ambition, let's find a way to do it. So I hope that makes sense. Again, not, no, I haven't lost my mind. This isn't a new business model. This is the exception, not the rule. Just again, and if this gets you thinking outside of the box and gets me thinking outside the box in other ways, then that's fantastic. That's what we all want to be able to do in life, in business, etc. So, listen, let's go get this. Let's think of ways that we can create success, not only for ourselves, but for folks on our teams, and just go knock this thing out of the park. So, as I say every day, we don't let today run you. Run today, go own the day. Make sure you're sharing this opportunity with people today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Do it today. Make it happen. And let's go rock and roll and have an amazing day. I'm excited about what we'll go over tomorrow morning. So thanks again for being on. Have an amazing day, like I said, and we'll talk with you tomorrow.